Hi YouTube, it's Mike with Kane's Cards. I'm here to share my results for the last week of TTMing through the mail autographs. I get my information from cardcollectors.net. So my first return was a 2 for 2 in 11 days from Rocket Ismail, and he was kind enough to give me the 1991 Grey Cup MVP inscription on it. Ismail was a challenge for me. I saw him signing for a lot of people, and those cards were always coming back, and I kept sending them out and never gotten anything. So I'm sure glad that I got him this time. Be a nice addition to my set. My next return for the week was a 2 of 2 from Bills quarterback Joe Ferguson from the University of Arkansas. He had a long career with the Bills, and that got him a card with the Legends. And I really like how these Legends cards look with the blue ink. And Joe got back to me in a quick 14 days. This next card is the 1960 World Series MVP, the only MVP on a losing team, Bobby Richardson. He got a 1 of 1 return in 14 days. I did do a $5 donation to him, but look at how sweet that card looks. He's got such nice penmanship. This next guy is a guy that either people they love him and think he's the greatest or they hate him. I'm talking about WWE legend, WCW TNA, Vince Russo. And Vince signed a card for me, 1 of 1 in 12 days. Not very happy with how this one came out. I think I just made a bad card choice. He signed it in that black ink, and it's just really hard to see. I'll have to wait a while and maybe 6 months or so and see if I can find something with a lighter background, see if I can get a better looking card. I am really happy with how these next two cards came out. Former 49er, former Chief. I think he played with a couple other teams. Steve Bono sent me two back in 11 days. And one of those is on the game day, and I really like how that looks. He answered a question for me when I was reading about him before I sent off the letter. I read that he was an avid golfer, and I asked him if he ever has shot in a hole in one, and he replied that he did not. Next, I got 3 of 3 from Billy Almond. Billy was the first overall draft pick in San Diego Padres in 1974. He bounced around. He played for a few different teams, the White Sox, the Mets, the Braves. He's more known for his defense than his offense, but um, thank you for signing my cards. Next up is Chris Knapp, former Angels, former White Sox, and he got back to me really fast. 2 of 2 return in 9 days. Next card is a former football player, Merrill Hodge, and he was football player for the Steelers, and he played, I think, a season for the Bears. He's more well known nowadays for being on ESPN. He just came out with a book not too long ago, and I read it. Pretty inspiring. Um, but both these cards came back in 16 days. Next up is Andy Heck, and Andy played for the Chiefs, Bears, and Seahawks. And he signed both of these and got them back to me in a quick 11 days. Next in the mailbox was Roy Thomas, and that was a 3 for 3 in 13 days, and I got him on that 78 rookies pitcher card. I know Dennis Lamp signs, so I'll probably send off to him to see if I can get another signature on that quad card, and then I'll check and see if Cardell and Craig Mitchell sign and hopefully fill that card up with some ink. Next is former Falcon George Kuntz, and he was an all-pro player, and he signed 2 of 2 cards for me in 9 days. Next up was Brad Golden, and I got 2 of 2, and I got that rookie stars. I don't believe either one of those other two guys signed, and then he signed the Cincinnati Reds card for me. He played in the major leagues for parts of 3 seasons with the Reds. I think he only had about 50, 60 games total. Next, Mr. Shake and Bake, Glenn Daughtry. He signed 5 of 2 for me in 10 days. He personalized these, signed them to Mike, Shake and Bake, and then along with these two cards, he sent back a couple stickers that he had autographed, a couple photographs that he signed, and put the Shake and Bake inscription on a lot of them. So thanks a lot for that, Mr. Daughtry. Next up, Steve Nelson, and Steve was kind enough to give me that three-time Pro Bowl inscription on there. And he got back to me in 11 days. One of the things I really like with my cards is if I can get the players to put inscriptions on there. And one of the things I used to do is just say, hey, inscribe anything that you like. And I didn't get very much success. So I started putting what I would like them to inscribe on the cards. And it's really helped my success rate with the inscriptions. My longest return of the week was 151 days from Scott Fletcher, and Scott was kind enough to sign one of the Diamond King cards for me and one of the Don Russ highlights. A little bit different cards, but they both came out really nice with that blue marker on it and that light background. My next return was a 3 of 3 from Dell Unser, and Dell signed it, and he inscribed his major league debut on two of the three cards, and he got that back to me in 22 days. My next return was from former Viking, former Charger Darren Nelson, and he signed 3 of 3 for me in 14 days. I like these classic cards. Mr. John Groyle signed 1 of 1, and he signed in a quick 11 days. And I saw a lot of people getting this guy back, and it was like, man, I really hope he signs my cards. And packed him up, sent him off to Hawaii. He signed them. He gave me the two-time All-Star inscription, and it got back from Hawaii in a quick 13 days. I'm really happy with this. And Sid's got so many great cards I'd like to get signed. I'm going to wait a few months, and then I'll send off again, and hopefully he's still signing. Hopefully he doesn't get overloaded. Former Lions tight end David Hill signed 2 cards for me in 14 days. And then Eddie Watt signed 2 of 2 in 17 days. One was an Orioles card and one was a Phillies card. And then Jeff Grotwald, 2 of 2. One of these is on that AAA, that 91 pre-rookie. I love how these cards are just because with that white background, they end up being such a good product once they're signed and autographed. And then probably one of my favorites this week, one of the last ones I got was from Matt Millen. And Matt inscribed to me, Mike, all the best. Matt Millen, 4-time Super Bowl champion. So we remember him as a great player. Then he went on to be an executive with the Tigers. Had a few problems there, but I'm sure happy these cards came back. Thanks for watching. Give me your comments. Tell me what you think about my video and how I'm doing. I also would like to hear about what player did you try sending out to that you saw everybody else getting returns for and you never heard from. See you next week. Thanks.